Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
All hands back at battle station.
Tom Trento heads United West, a group that says it defends Western civilization against the onslaught of Islam.
Yeah, it's exactly what we do. But today we're going to start our show on Monday, 5 August, 1 minute after 5 o'clock, 2 minutes maybe, depending on where you are. We're going to start our show with a belated happy birthday to our president. It was his birthday yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
And no, we're not. We're going to bypass singing a happy birthday to our president who was out playing golf while 22 embassies in the United States of America were shut down. What does that say? What does that say to all of you that voted for this president? I know, because we're going to get into this today, we're going to deal with the embassy closing, but more importantly, the absurdity, the absolute futile absurdity of trying to reason with the constituents of President Obama who they've sold their American patriotism for 30 pieces of socialistic progressivism. And the world is a mess because of the appeasement policy of this president. The world is the Middle East is an absolute keg ready to explode because of the foolish approach this president has taken to killing to not killing, to coddling was the word. It sounds like killing, but it's different, okay? Killing is when you kill somebody, bad people. Coddling is what this president is doing to the leadership in Iran, the leadership in Egypt, the leadership in name that Muslim country, folks. Today we're dealing with these issues on the show. In fact, as it relates to the embassies, we're gonna alliterate here. We're gonna tell you what the problem is. We're gonna tell you who the perps are, the perpetrators, and we're gonna tell you what the prognosis is if this country maintains this bizarre approach to this asymmetrical war against Islamic jihad. We're gonna tell you what the prognosis is for you, your families, and all your food stamps and all your free stuff you're trying to get from the government. Because we're doomed. It's that simple. Hey, nice way to start the Monday, isn't it, everybody? Hi.
Can I go home now?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Right after I powder my nose.
Oh, my God.
What's the problem?
Close-up of that?
What's the problem?
Yeah.
I came in today to the studio.
Get a screenshot of that.
Came into the studio.
Let me do a zoom of that.
And I don't know if you guys are serious.
Let me zoom in on that.
I don't know if you're serious. For you driving your automobiles at 5 minutes after 4 o'clock, I'm holding, what is this thing called?
A compact.
I'm holding a compact.
It's a pink
Weird, isn't
compact.
it? We need to just freshen up a little bit before the cameras roll. And it's a matching set. Okay. It's a matching set. But I did not buy this, okay? I swear to God I did not buy this. I was sitting in a doctor's office the other day for this old football injury. And this elderly guy, I have my pink phone on the table. He goes, "Is that your phone there, son?" I said, yeah. He goes, "Was a day. We'd smack people around if they had a phone like that, man." I go, "Well, yeah, but it's different day, different time. Different time."
Very different.
But thank you, CJ. I appreciate this. Just give me a minute or two, okay?
My brother told me a story.
Is that gray hair there?
I just saw
what
it.
the heck
I
is
just
going
saw
on?
it, and I thought, oh my gosh, that is so Tom.
But what can be done with this also is when we have to abandon the bunker, if we ever had to do that, and we're floating out in the ocean, guess what I have? I have one of these things. Right?
SOS.
Yes, I can signal the
right.
Soviets as they're going overhead taking pictures.
And if you're out walking and you want to make sure that nobody is following you, you just pull that out of your pocket and make
is that
like
a girl
you're
trick?
You make like you're powdering your nose or checking your lipstick, and actually what you're doing is you're checking out what's happening behind you to make sure if you're being stalked by
You do it
someone.
like this.
So it's stealth.
That's a chick trick.
That's
And
pretty
Mark
good.
sometimes
Yeah.
walks around with mirrors on the top of his shoes.
Well, you know.
Yeah, we won't
What can
go
I-
there. We won't go
Okay,
there.
That's
don't
what the report
scorch
said, but
my
it's not true.
corneas with the imagery.
And if you're ever going to Disney World, go to Disney World with this thing. So
Okay.
we can have a lot of fun with this. Hi,
Okay, so
everybody.
you started
My-
off shocking
my
us,
brother-
and then you let us have a little laugh.
My brother,
Yes.
who's a retired police officer, said he used to laugh because there's this bar where he used to work at on the patrol, and it was called Yags, which is gay spelled backwards. Okay, so it's a totally flaming gay bar. And he goes,
That's a cool name, though.
he says
Like
they'd have
Oprah.
big old husky guys come walking in there and wanted to beat up the gays in the gay bar, right? And so he'd get a call over from the police station. He'd go over there, and they said, and the people who called were the guys who went in there because they got their butts kicked by the gays in the gay bar because they're really masculine.
regular guys,
He goes,
yeah.
he says, well, what do you want me to do? He says, well, they beat me up. He says, well, you walked in here and tried to start some fight. Sorry.
That's the way it is, yeah.
So.
Good. They're just desserts. Go see how that's spelled.
Uh-oh.
All right. Hi, everybody. Tom, Trento, CJ. The boys are out there.
Fabulous bunker boys.
And we're back
Boys.
after a wild and woolly weekend around the world.
Yikes.
Out of nowhere comes this thing. Okay, we surrender. End of
we're
the
done.
world. We're closing everything down.
Al-Qaeda's really not on the run.
And we're gonna dispassionately and passionately and impassionately go through all of this material for you. First, we got to tell you a couple of things, okay?
Housekeeping.
Yeah, we need you to donate securely to keep the
And where do they do that?
as we like to say, keep a tent over the circus. I don't know. You tell them. I
Can
think
they
it's
go to
better.
TrentoVision.tv?
They can do that.
Can they go to theunitedwest.org?
They can
All
do
those-
that.
All those different things there.
And how do they get to those
Or they can do direct
places?
deposit right into our bank. We can give them the bank account number if they want.
And they also go to teapartycommunity.com
That was my next one.
and the Conservatives Facebook page. And you, while you're actually watching on the teapartycommunity.com, click the little subscribe button and you can subscribe to our daily updates.
Now, we need to check
And
that.
when you get a daily update, do you get an email such as the one that was sent out this weekend?
Yes, you will start getting those, and we have
And what
to
else
check.
do they get,
We have to
Tom?
check. Somebody sent me back one of the subscribe letters, and we have moved to Arizona from Florida.
Oh, we did?
It's Lake Worth, Arizona. So we
Oh,
need to.
that's close
we
enough.
need to. We need. She goes, "Are you guys in Arizona or Florida?" I said, "I think there's a mistake there." So we need to check that out. We're in Florida. That's where we are. Or are we? Always a question. We want you to watch Holly Meredith 4:00 every day, 4 to 5.
Listen to her.
Yes, but no, she's on the.
Is she on?
She's on the internet?
She
She's on the
broadcasts
internet now?
Yeah,
Wow.
remember the guys that
Oh, yeah.
they're putting her on.
good.
Cool.
She has her show, and she has a little producer there putting up some B-roll,
Oh, good.
kicking their butts. These guys, let me tell you.
I know.
Yeah.
We suck.
You saw some of it.
We suck.
And then 6 to 9, Brian, Craig, Steve Kane, conservative gurus, longest running political conservative show on the air in South Florida.
In the
Talk show
world.
host.
In the
Yeah.
world.
He could be one of the longest ones, Steve Kane. It's over 30
Well,
years.
Rush Limbaugh just had his 25th
25th?
anniversary last
Yep.
week.
He's just a kid.
Mazel tov, Rush.
3 websites we want you to look at. BareNakedIslam.com.
Yeah.
Okay, we have that one right.
Watchdog Wire. Watchdog Wire. We want you to check that one out. Watchdogwire.com. And that's citizen journalists. And BizPack.
BizPack Review.
BizPackReview.net. Those 3 we review those on a regular basis, get a lot of information from those guys doing a tremendous amount of research. We regurgitate it, put our spin on it, and you're better people for it. I think this is the last week. We've opened up one more week where folks can still sign up to come to Israel. I'm going to put out a big email this week, and it'll be your last chance.
Last call.
I don't know, CJ, the way I see it, if Armageddon is looking more probable, which is in the center of Israel, as all of this crazy stuff happens, what better place to be in October than in the middle of all that?
Exactly. That's how I feel about it.
You don't run away from the gunfire, folks. You run
You run
to the
towards
gunfire.
it.
Yes. So save your shekels. It's about $2,700 sans air.
With hair.
Without
Sans. It's an old term, old Yiddish term.
A French term.
It's not Yiddish.
no
What is it, French?
French.
French.
Is that Greek?
Sans fromage.
If
Without-
it ain't
without-
Italian,
Without
it ain't
cheese.
nothing.
Sans, yeah, give me a quarter pound
I
of
saw-
sans fromage.
I saw last night or this morning, this injury has
Oh, that's from Pulp Fiction.
This injury
Right?
has
This
messed
old
my
footballer.
sleep cycle up. So I think it was this morning I watched a documentary on the automobile Lamborghini.
Oh, Italian like you, boss.
Yes. You know how Lamborghini got started?
Nope.
It's a
Nope.
great story.
Nope.
Mr. Lamborghini was a farmer in Italy, northern Italy, and he put some machinery together and built a little tractor, and one thing led to another. Lamborghini tractor, highly successful 1940s, 50s, 60s tractor company in Italy, gigantic. I mean, you know, he was supplying
Like the
Italy with all the-
Caterpillar of
yeah,
Italy?
yeah. And he got so wealthy that he went and bought himself a
Ferrari.
Ferrari. Okay.
So he went and bought a Ferrari. And this was in the 60s, I believe. And the clutch, for those of you gearheads out there, the clutch on the Ferrari kept burning up. So Mr. Lamborghini had his mechanics take the engine apart, and he saw that the clutch that was being used by Mr. Ferrari for his Ferrari was the same exact clutch that Lamborghini was using for their little tiny tractors.
Aha.
So he said, oh, we can make some improvements on this. So he made a few improvements, and the clutch worked better. So he got a meeting with the Commendatore, Mr. Enzo Ferrari. And he said, Mr. Ferrari, sir, I think I could help you out here. I've improved upon the clutch, and I'd just like to share it with you. And Enzo said, hey,
Yeah.
you're a
Take
farmer.
your clutch and
Take your
shove
clutch,
it.
Why don't you take your clutch and shove it up your tuchus?
Shove it up your torque
Which
converter.
is Italian for rear end.
Take your clutch, Mr. Farmer, and go back to the farm. Okay?
Right.
Enzo told him that. Lamborghini went back and said, okay, I'm going to build a little car to compete with you guys. And that's what he did. He built a Lamborghini until about the late 70s. And then the economy got him and he went bankrupt. And Audi now owns Lamborghini, making phenomenal cars.
Audi owns Lamborghini?
I did not know that.
Audi owns Lamborghini, and the show was on Ultimate Factories. They're showing how they hand make these cars. And I have driven
Hitler owns Mussolini?
many. Oh, he did, 40
Again?
years, 50, yeah. But anyway, folks, that's a little tidbit, little Italian
Okay.
trivia to make your day go better. All right, what else do we have on the housekeeping? That's it, I think.
You are listening to WNN
WNN,
1470 AM, broadcasting from Miami to Orlando. You can also listen to us if you download the iHeartRadio app for your smartphone.
Yes.
And if you have questions, comments, suggestions, or complaints, you can write to him, Tom Trento,
Can you?
Tom at TrentoVision.tv.
Yes, and if you want to come to Israel, Tom at TrentoVision.tv. Let me know.
And if you want to
We'll give you
donate,
information.
CJ.
Y'all going to Israel? Tom at crazyasscracker.com.
Let you see what
You're allowed
called
to say that on air.
Charlie Rangel?
Yeah.
Charlie Rangel got a
Yeah.
little.
How
got a
come
little
he's not
crackerish.
getting censured?
This whole thing is crazy.
How come he's not getting censured for saying something like that?
You guys hear that? Charlie Rangel referred to, who's he referring to? Tea Party, right?
He was referring to Tea Party people
As a bunch of crackers.
as a bunch of KKK crackers, et cetera, et cetera. Crazy.
It's true.
But we're going to deal today with the pressing issue of why the heck the United States has signaled, and maybe we're wrong on this, maybe closing the embassies was the prudent move, but we spend a lot of our time inside the head, and it's not pleasant, inside the head of the Islamic jihadis, trying to understand life as they understand it, understand their familial relationships, understand their academic background, understand their philosophical leanings, understand their theology, understand their war doctrine. We live inside their heads. So we have a tendency to interpret global events, particularly with Satan, number one, the big Satan, from the jihadists' point of view. And we don't see anything positive whatsoever. But we're gonna go through this material.
Yeah.
And
Do we want to say where the embassies are, or do we?
yeah. We're going to go through all that. But let's
Okay.
start with the actual State Department. If you can go to the homepage of the State Department.
Okay.
This shocked me a little bit. Here we are in the midst of a global terrorism crisis. Look at the lead photo on the homepage of the United States State. No.
Not that one?
The homepage of the United States State
All
Department.
right. Well, we can pull it up.
Okay.
Oh, that is.
All right, I have it
National
right here.
warning.
Let me put
Yeah,
my.
this is
Put
the
your
temporary
ID.
post closures and worldwide travel alert.
Yeah, put your IDGA on.
Yeah, because you ain't gonna believe this. It's so.
Well, they don't actually have the U.S. flag up there. It's a white flag, right?
No, this is the homepage.
Surrender, Dorothy.
Yeah, this is the homepage of the State Department, and this is the photo that stays. You know how they rotate sometimes. This is the State Department's
Oh my
homepage. It's the United States flag, and right
Uh-huh.
under it, what flag?
And the
what
United
nation is
States of
that?
gayness.
Yeah. What, the gay pride flag? What is
It's
it?
Yeah.
the gay flag
Yeah.
flying under
Why
the
is
United
that-
States flag.
For what
Well,
reason?
no
could that
wonder
be?
our embassies have to close down.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah, especially if
Don't
start
they
flying-
know that's a crime in those Muslim countries?
That's now we know why they're closing down.
now
the-
we know why they closed
that
the
crazy?
embassies
They're raising
down.
the gay flag over all the embassies throughout the world, and they know how the Muslims feel about gays. So yeah, they'll storm the embassies in a second if they realize what that is.
For those of you driving at 18 minutes after 5 o'clock on the East Coast, if you're in California, it's 18 minutes after 2 o'clock. We just showed the homepage of our State Department, and it has a picture of the United States flag under it, the gay flag, and we can't figure out. It says U.S. visas for same-sex spouses, DOMA ruling. So they have this feature, the feature of our State Department. This indicates, folks, this isn't just trivia. This indicates a political direction that the administration is going.
That's truly amazing.
It really is. You got a global crisis on terrorism. You would think
Right.
the main story would be right there, travel warning, this, that, the other thing. It's off to the right-hand side. little box on the right-hand side of the homepage, temporary post closures and worldwide travel.
That's at the bottom. That's
yeah,
at the
of
bottom.
it.
If you look on top of that, there's LGBT travel information because
Lesbian-
really that's what the State
Well,
Department's
that's
all
above
about.
that's above
That's
the world
above
travel alert.
The
That's
worldwide
more important.
alert, don't go there, you'll get killed.
And this is a beautiful indication of the not the misunderstanding of the political doctrine that this administration desires to implement in its remaining 3 years. It has a very aggressive, anti-traditional political agenda, and that's of more concern than these pesky Al-Qaeda bombers. That's for
I
sure.
think you hit on something
What
there
may that
when
be?
you said the remaining 3 years of this administration. I think this is all a prep for what happens after the remaining 3 years of this administration, which I think is going to continue.
Queuing it up for a certain somebody.
Queuing it up for, I don't know, we're in an international and domestic crisis and we have to impose martial law and the elections are suspended and so is the
Woo, you're getting
Constitution.
conspiratorial.
You know what else was on that?
No, I'm not.
On the travel,
I-
on the web, on the State Department's travel.state.gov is the Hodge fact sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here, let me pull that up. And that,
I got it right here.
They have a Hodge fact sheet. They have a Muslim relations section.
It's all working.
The
It's all
Hodge.
working.
It's
great.
all the State Department telling you how to relate to Islam. There's whole sections on that of
Oh
the
my
State
God.
Department.
And
It's
what
all
percentage
working
of the
great.
country are they supposedly?
What-
1%?
They say 2.
Well, 2 million out of 330 million, less than 2.
Yeah.
About 1.5%.
Yeah.
My brother's vote's looking more and more inviting every
Yeah.
minute.
All right, I'm just going to read a couple of pieces from this
Okay, you don't want to hear
worldwide.
about my conspiracy then.
We're going to get into it. You know how many emails I get like that? And some of them come with tinfoil hats right in the. But at this point, I don't
put it this
dismiss
way,
a priori anything.
We count down the number of days till the midterms, 457
Right.
days
Yes, we
until
do.
the midterms, okay? Now, if you wanted to deflect the focus on what's happening with the IRS, the fact that the Obama campaign rigged in 2008 and 2012 for the conservative groups not to get their tax-exempt status and be able to participate in those
Right.
elections. Oh, a phony scandal. Benghazi, another phony scandal. And as a lady said to me at lunch yesterday, phony scandals don't come home in body bags.
Right.
Well, hearings are starting on that, and if you wanted to deflect from that
That's pretty good.
and say, oh, you know what, we're closing all these embassies because we learned our lesson in Benghazi. And so we don't have to talk about Benghazi anymore because now we're just going to be super cautious all the time.
All right, watch this. Good points. I'm reading some of the alert on the U.S. Department of Travel. This is under the problem, folks. We're establishing the problem right now. The problem's articulated by the DOS, Department of State, and they have put out an alert that says U.S. citizens are to be on alert for continued potential for terrorist attacks, particularly in the Middle East and North Africa, where our president went June 2009 to extend an open hand, went there, bowed to the Saudis, did everything you think if you don't think. He did everything, if you don't think, you think, that would create loving, kind, considerate, and sensitive relations with our Mid-East and the Levant, those countries in Northern Africa and in around Israel. He did everything that you would think would make us friends with them. So maybe he wasn't nice enough.
He should.
I don't know.
Maybe he should have hung the gay flag a lot earlier.
All right, I'm continuing. Current information suggests that Al-Qaeda and affiliated organizations continue to plan terrorist attacks both in the region and beyond. Terrorists may elect to use a variety of means and weapons. You know what they're talking about right now being the most frightening weapon that they're using? That just got... The government is leaking out a little bit of information at times, because this is so shocking. When we first heard that all these embassies were going to be closed, it was like,
What?
it just went over your head for a second. Then you went, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Then you look at we're closing embassies in Saudi Arabia. We're closing embassies in countries that are supposed to be very friendly and very protective and all of this. Then the pushback came from basically conservatives saying, what is all this about? Then the analysis, what signal are you sending? So now the U.S. government is dripping out information. And here's the latest. The reason why they're closing
Here, I
is
have a
because...
picture up of all the closures here.
there it is.
Well, minus
What
one.
do you
It's
have on
actually
there?
Yeah,
21
plus there's 22 now.
It's 22.
Just
but
read
Yeah.
off some of those. I can't see them there. Well,
Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Jordan,
very friendly country.
Jordan,
with us.
Qatar, the UAE, Iran, Iraq,
Djibouti.
Well, not Iran. We don't have an
Not
embassy
Iran.
in
We don't
Iran.
have an
no,
embassy
Iran's
in
not
Iran.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. not
Wait a
Iran,
minute.
Iraq.
Wait.
How about the little tiny island of Mauritius?
Wait, I'm seeing. Are these all Muslim countries?
There's a
They're
pattern
all
here. I think there's a
Muslim
pattern here, Tom.
countries.
They're
They're
all
all
Muslim
Muslim
countries.
countries.
I
Well,
can-
Rwanda isn't.
I tell you what. Let me get back to you because I need to do a pattern analysis of this and actually look and throw it in the computer and actually get back to the State Department.
Algorithm it up.
Algorithm
well,
it up,
do you
'cause
think?
I don't know if it's actually a pattern like you're.
Can you put a Democrat Obama voter in that algorithm and see if this sort of information would knock some sense into their head about the failed
I know it's a
policies of
pretty
Obama
complex-
fighting Islamic
it's a pretty
terror?
complex mathematical analysis, and they might have problems understanding, the intricacies of diplomatic relationship policy and foreign policy and world government interaction to understand that it's all the Muslim countries in the Middle East.
Look,
I have a
you
statement.
guys wait.
George Bush's
I
fault.
have a statement.
Okay.
Osama bin Laden is dead, and Detroit is alive.
Right. Yeah. Okay, you guys.
So in the meantime, in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Detroit is bankrupt, and we're closing our embassies because of Al Qaeda.
Well, I got a
Right,
question.
Good
right.
for you.
job in the debate,
But-
Mitt Romney.
Let me ask you
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
Let me ask you guys this, okay? Obama has been saying for years now, first of all, there is no war on Islamic terrorism. There's no war against Sharia. There's no war, period.
actually,
Our
we have
only
video of this.
enemy is Al Qaeda.
And the
That's
Tea Party.
the only enemy
and
out
the
there.
Tea Party.
Does this not play into that?
Are you
Because
talking-
everything is shut down because of Al Qaeda. So if you were cozying up to the Muslim Brotherhood and you were arming the Free Syrian Army and you were having discussions privately with Iran behind the scenes who are not Al Qaeda,
Right.
wouldn't you be able to point to that and say, see, the problem is really Al Qaeda, and therefore we
no.
need to do all
No,
those
CJ,
other
you're-
groups.
you're
We need to
missing
arm
point.
them and support them politically
Oh, so
because they
naive.
are
So
the
naive,
antidote.
little Jewish
They are
girl.
the antidote
So
to Al Qaeda.
Naive. Actually, I have a video for you.
You don't think
Well, yeah.
that this
Yeah.
that this administration is
Here,
is trying
CJ,
to pull that?
I have
course
the
they
answer
are.
for you from the President
let's
of the
see.
United
Okay.
States himself. Just right here it goes. Okay.
I said we'd refocus on the people who actually attacked us on 9/11. And today, Al Qaeda's on the run and Osama bin Laden is dead.
Mount Vernon, Ohio.
I said we'd focus on the terrorists who actually attacked us on 9/11, and we have, and bin Laden is dead.
And we have another one.
Thanks to the service and sacrifice of our brave men and women in uniform, the war in Iraq is over. The war in Afghanistan is winding down.
Yep.
Al Qaeda has been decimated.
Yep.
Osama bin Laden is dead.
And I've got a car to sell you.
1 out of
So
4.
we've made real progress these past 4 years.
Progress.
But Wisconsin.
See, hey, folks. it's
Osama
very-
bin Laden is dead, and I have $100,000 electric car to sell you.
So what is your problem,
Look,
CJ?
it's very simple. All you got to do is this. Watch. Come to me. Let me show you how to do
Come
this.
to him.
Okay? Watch. I'm running for office. And every one of you out there that votes for me, I guarantee you'll have a new Cadillac in your garage. Everybody gets $100,000 a year from the government. No problems, nothing ever. All you got to do is vote for me. We can make this happen.
Oh, I want my Trento phone.
Where's my Trento phone?
It's very easy to just talk and say stuff, folks, and in a way it sounds convincing. And if you put an army, he had an Air Force jacket on when he was articulating some of those ridiculous.
I
I'll
thought
bet he
that
took
was
a
his
bath
bowling
after that.
jacket.
And people want to hear him say that. They want to believe that. We're here to give you a little bit of dose of reality. Okay, it's that simple. That
Reality
stuff is not
doesn't win
true.
elections, Tom.
We're gonna show the Gaffney
That's
one
right.
in a little bit.
Thank
but
you.
a couple of things. Let's go back to the State Department homepage. What we're doing, folks, 29 minutes after 5 o'clock on the 5th August, day after President Obama's birthday, we're identifying, we're giving you some of our very detailed analytical opinion as to why we're in serious doo-doo with the closures of 22 embassies around the Mideast and Northern Africa.
It's
We're
not just
looking-
North Africa, by the way.
We're looking at, the Maghreb. I was talking about the Levant, too. We're looking at the State Department's advisory,
Okay.
and
Pull it up.
you know what we got to do? I'm going to ask you guys this. Not today, maybe a couple of days from now. They have a hotline number where you can call and find out if you're traveling, what the conditions are of the country that you're traveling to. I say we call them in a couple of days. Just say,
Dear
hey,
State
we're on the air. We're
Department,
thinking
I
of
would-
going to Mauritania or one of those countries.
I would like to book a fine hotel in beautiful downtown Bujumbura, and I'm wondering Can you recommend a good restaurant in the neighborhood?
We're looking for indigenous food and maybe a little bit of dance culture or something like that to see, and maybe a good museum, art museum. Can you help us out? I don't know, but we do know there's a gay bar right around the corner, so we got to do that at some point. But come to my screen. Okay. This is the email we sent out yesterday.
Right. Shocking.
And
I bet you got a lot of fan mail for that.
We sent it out to almost 100,000 people. I think it's up to 25,000 have opened it so far. And usually these things take a couple of days.
Yeah.
It simply says, Al-Qaeda to Obama, close your damn embassies, boy.
Uh-oh.
And, look at the cartoon.
You a racist.
That's right. Can't say boy.
Who's Al-Qaeda? Al-Qaeda, not Tom Trento to Obama. Al-Qaeda to Obama. That's how they view this guy. They view him as a boy in the sense, both levels. A boy in the sense of his capability of handling global affairs, and a boy in the sense of a derogatory term for, is he African American? What is he? Whatever he is.
Half.
But we know Al-Qaeda is a racist organization hating black people.
Raisin heads.
Then the cartoon, mission accomplished.
That's kind of a good riff on, remember George Bush? Yep. Mission accomplished 3 days after Iraq.
And the beautiful picture here, go to our archives. Where can they find our archives?
On the United West
YouTube.com/The United West.
And look at these pictures that we have, because we produce a television show that we simulcast on radio. For all you guys driving in your automobile, it's a picture of Obama with gigantic ears, campaign 2012 Obama shirt, holding the white flag, pointing toward Afghanistan with a well-decked out general, a piece of duct tape on his mouth. Exactly what's going on, except they put the duct tape on their own mouths.
Yeah, I was going to say the generals did it to themselves.
And we said it's official. We surrendered to Al-Qaeda. Everyone, and I'll just read a couple of lines here. Everyone who voted for President Obama should be absolutely ashamed and disgusted that you sold your American patriotism for 30 pieces of progressive socialism. That's what's happened. Proof is in the pudding, folks. Proof is in the terror. For the first time in the history of our formerly great country, a 2-bit piece of SH something something. We actually wrote it down here, but we can't say that on the radio. A 2-bit piece of doo-doo terrorist organization, Al-Qaeda, has forced the world's only superpower to abandon only over 20 locations of sovereign U.S. territory out of fear for Muslim jihadis. Does everybody out there know that that's sovereign territory when there's a...
yeah.
Do you know how many Al-Qaeda are in Afghanistan? Take a
millions?
No. Well, according to this analysis on Wikipedia, which this one's pretty accurate.
It's not millions?
There's between 50 and 100 Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan.
Oh, come on.
Give me a break.
You're talking about the Taliban. Al-Qaeda, members of Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda has no membership. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. 3 years ago, there were 300 Al-Qaeda members.
The supporters.
Yeah, but how many have been busted out of jail in the last month?
The supporters,
In the Maghreb, which is northern Africa, those countries, there's 300 to 800. Right. In Yemen, 500 to 600. In Iraq, there were 0 when we were there. Now there's 2,500.
Right.
But in Syria, this is critically important, everybody. In Syria, there's 6,000 to 10,000 Al-Qaeda members in Syria. What does that indicate?
How many are in Boston?
About 5,000.
Right.
There are
in
quite
San
a few
Francisco and Oregon.
But what does that say?
Virginia.
There's no more than 10,000 people that are card-carrying members of Al-Qaeda. Now, there's a lot of affiliates. The Taliban works with them. Even Hezbollah, different religion, works with them.
I hate them.
What is your take on...
Where are they getting these numbers from? I don't even believe these numbers.
Oh, they are. Yeah, the Al-Qaeda...
Are those self-reported?
Formal membership in Al-Qaeda 3 years ago was 300 or 400. I found that out through all of our sources.
Right.
It's expanding now because why? Why? is
Because they're
Al-Qaeda expanding?
enterprising. It's a franchise.
Well, you don't go in the terror business if you got the SEALs and the Rangers and recon Marines and all these people breathing down your back, killing you. You go, all right, this isn't the best way of doing business. That's when there were 200, 300, 400, 500, the hardcore ones. Now it's a badge of honor when you're 18, 19 years old to say, I'm joining Al-Qaeda, I'm going, the Mujahideen, I'm going to Syria
Right.
and fight for the cause of Allah.
That's right.
And it's going like crazy.
Because I can't
right
get a
now.
job anyway.
Can't get a job. At least I get food and I can kill people and I come back and I'm highly respected. And if I die, I go to paradise and somebody else takes care of my family.
Yeah.
It's not a bad gig if you think
Fantastic.
Well, what I
Very easy sell.
what I never want to be is number 2 or 3 in Al Qaeda. Those are the ones.
Yeah.
The number
three man
man.
in Al Qaeda was killed again today.
And then on
He
this
was
piece,
succeeded by the new number 3 guy in Al Qaeda.
No.
No. Keep me at number 5, okay?
But here's the
Poor
problem.
baby.
Here's
Or
the
number
problem.
1 in that secret secure bat cave somewhere.
Here's the problem. That is, for our astute listeners, 37 minutes after 5 o'clock. When you're fighting a symmetrical war that has a beginning, a middle, and end, and everybody wears uniforms, on the other side, and there's sort of rules to warfare. Then if you kill the head of the snake, kill Hitler, kill Mussolini, when you kill the emperor, kill
Like chess.
yeah, when you fight in a symmetric battle, then the body starts to die, even in boxing. No, actually,
Right.
it's the other way around. When you have this brand new morphed asymmetrical concept of Al-Qaeda, which is centralized planning, decentralized execution. Very important to understand that. The way Al-Qaeda works is centralized planning. They will communicate to have centralized plans, like what should we do? And you see a bunch of this in Inspire magazine. Remember,
Right,
we went through
right.
those?
Yeah.
They say, if you want to be part of Al-Qaeda, here's the way you live, here's the way you pray, here's the way you fight.
That's right.
Very centralized.
Here's how to cause murder and mayhem in your hometown using your automobile or a pressure cooker.
Now go decentralize yourself.
Yeah.
Do it on your own.
So
and
we don't
cause
know
that
what you're
mayhem.
doing and just go be some lone wolves out there.
So therefore, if that's the military
That's the model.
modality, the model,
Yeah.
then killing the head just
Does nothing.
causes somebody else to be the head for a while.
That's right.
So all these drone strikes that sound great and we're decimating Al-Qaeda, all you're doing is either you're completely unaware, Mr. President, of the simple facts that we just said, centralized planning, decentralized execution. If you understood that doctrine, you could not in good faith or honestly look at a camera and say Al-Qaeda's decimated. You don't even understand.
what
Well, wait a
Qaeda is,
second.
yeah.
Wait a second.
So he's lying.
Since
But he
you
had an
brought
election to win.
Since you brought it up, who was responsible for the drone program? Let's review that. Anybody?
Bush?
No.
Well, no. You,
Brennan.
John Brennan.
John Brennan read.
John
no.
Brennan, who's now head of the CIA, who is what?
Muslim.
And that happened where?
Saudi Arabia.
Hello.
This all stuff fits together.
And what did we say during the hearings for Brennan about the whole drone strike program? If you wanted to make it look like you were doing something to actually defend the United States without having to actually execute a war, you just pick off a few people here and there with the drones. Instead of capturing them, interrogating them, busting up the cells, and really going after the organization at its multiple roots, the way you're talking about.
And here's the main.
So what do? They give themselves cover. They're actually killing the people who we need to interrogate.
Right.
Does anybody not see a problem with that? Are you laughing at me?
It makes
No.
good political theater, that's for sure.
No,
He's
the,
laughing at me over
Who is
there.
Abdullah?
No, I'm not.
No, he's just laughing at the irony of the whole thing.
No,
The-
he's not.
What are you laughing at, Abdullah?
No,
What do you
He's
think about
laughing at
all
me because I'm talking again.
No, I was trying to get.
Mark was trying to get something in 6 times.
this? Go ahead, Mark. You can go.
No,
That's
I'm
what
not
happens
very-
when I have donuts and sugared coffee before the show.
You can go now.
But if you, Dinesh D'Souza actually made a very good comparison on Obama and his thinking of Al Qaeda. He actually thinks of it as a organization that could be targeted and wiped out. And the rest of the Muslim world, like the Muslim Brotherhood, he looks at them as freedom fighters. So that's the reason you have you think you have this schizophrenic Obama when you actually don't. He says, well, they're just an offshoot, really whack out offshoot of Islam. But the Muslim Brotherhood, they're freedom fighters for the freedoms to overthrow dictators in countries like Mubarak, like Gaddafi. And if we support the Muslim Brotherhood, they'll overthrow the despotic dictators that are causing Al Qaeda to form. That's his skewed thinking.
Very stupid.
Yeah.
And not looking at the problem is the doctrine of Islam. And so, but he was born and raised as a Muslim when he was growing up in Jakarta.
Obama, yeah.
Yes.
But he's also a communist. He thinks Ho Chi Minh is like no different than Thomas
I know.
Jefferson.
And it's
So
that same
person.
But what's interesting is that same philosophy. If you support like a Ho Chi Minh, the guy Che Rivera on the shirts and everything, it's that same freedom fighter mentality, and that's the reason you can support them if you think of them as freedom fighters.
anti-white, anti-capitalist.
There it is.
Against-
Like Hamas would be
All right, let me get
considered
back to
freedom
this.
So
fighters.
he's a
So-
racist,
anyway,
communist
okay.
Muslim.
Can I
Is
say
that what
something?
you're saying?
Can I say- yes. All of that. All right, what are we doing, folks?
And
At
more.
And his
42
thought pattern,
minutes
yes.
after the hour, 18 minutes to the top of the hour. You figure out what the hour is wherever you're watching at this time. But our task today as educators that do edutainment. We invent our own words, too, on this show. My name is Tom Trento.
Hi, Tom.
You're on WNN, hi CJ, 1470. If you're watching the show, TrentoVision.tv or Tea Party Community or the United West, all these different things. Go to theunitedwest.org. Look at our website. You'll get a lot of information. What we're doing today is making sense out of the senseless. The fact that the United States had to close 22 embassies for an indefinite amount of time. They're saying, a couple of days, maybe next Saturday. And I was alluding to one of the bits of information that leaked out today
Right.
as to why they had to do this. And here it is. They said that in Yemen, the Yemenis AQ bomb maker, Al Yemeni, I think his name is, the bomb maker.
Right.
These are people that have special capabilities to make bombs.
Right.
They have perfected a particular type of bomb that cannot be identified or discovered going through detectors anymore. And because of that, they had to close the embassies because they got chatter, they got intelligence that a bunch of these embassies were going to be breached by these individuals carrying these bombs.
It was like
They
the
were gonna
little, like in this Navy SEAL movie, with Aaron Vaughn in it, where the plastic vest where they.
No. These are
Uh-oh.
This is like the
Oh,
S-bomb.
inside.
This is like
Inside.
Yeah.
Abdullah Mutub and there's an S-bomb,
That's
no?
right.
yep,
Yeah.
S bombs.
These are
These
ass
are
okay.
these are bombs being inserted in their bodies and
Sewn in, like surgically cut.
surgically put
Surgically
in.
implanted.
Yep.
Yeah.
These are mujahideen. They detonate them
These
with a
guys
phone.
are just twisted, Tom. They are twisted.
Well, here's the problem. 2 years ago,
God.
the testing that Al Qaeda was. How would you like to be the tester?
Testee.
You
right?
know, the testee.
Well,
yeah.
do I really get 72? Yes, absolutely. Yes. But
But
you
I'm
are a
not blowing
tester.
anybody up.
But
But
you
it
are a
is just
tester.
a test.
We just-
You were part of God's Allah's plan.
I
to-
would not. I would say no. You will not get your 72 versions
You get
for
36.
volunteering for test. No.
but how are you
36.
going to perfect the bomb?
You
Abdullah?
get crash test dummies.
No. You got to use.
Or
What do you think
Christians or
happened to all
Jews
those
or
missing
Hindus.
Or
donkeys
dogs.
and
Or
goats?
dogs.
We
yeah.
do not use Muslims to test the bombs. We kidnap Christians and
Jews and-
others.
Christians
Well,
and Jews and
the problem with inserting the
Shiites.
bombs in their bodies was that the body absorbed most of the shock, so the actual damage was really mitigated. It wasn't that bad. So somehow they've overcome that, either with more explosives or who knows, taking a lung out maybe and putting in,
It wouldn't surprise me on these.
No, if you're gonna die,
If you're
have your lung taken
And we said
out.
that the Muslims had no contributions to medical science,
You're
right?
sick bastards. You really are. I mean, what a twisted.
Good
twisted
grief.
really
A
is.
Nobel Prize coming your way.
and the Nobel Prize in
And the Nobel Prize for creating artificial lungs and livers
You know.
goes
Well, they could
to...
certainly
Oh.
remove a good portion of the brain and stick it.
That's right.
You know.
Maybe that's already
But
happened.
but seriously, folks, at 46 minutes after 5 o'clock, the United States government this morning said that one of the reasons why we're closing the embassies is because of the placement of bombs inside of human beings, and we can't detect that. So a bunch of them we're going to come in the embassies and blow up a bunch of embassies.
Okay.
Or then they extended it to railroads and airplanes and all of
Okay,
this.
but let me
It's a
ask you
worldwide-
this. As far as the embassies are concerned, a couple of questions. First of all, if that's what the concern is, then why don't you limit access to the embassies to actual Americans who have passports?
No, that'd be
Racist.
racist,
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 Islamophobe.
Okay, who actually have business to
Racist,
transact at the
Islamophobe.
embassies. And second of all,
CJ's a racist.
And second of
CJ's
all,
a
if we're closing down all these embassies in these countries which are not guarding and protecting our territory in those countries, then why are their embassies still open in the United States? And why are they free to walk around when obviously they're state sponsors of terrorism in those countries?
There's always been a pattern, and I've kind of noticed this pattern.
Good questions.
Over the centuries, over everybody, with the United States and all foreign governments, as soon as they start closing down the embassies in the land to which they're trying to have relations with, bad things usually come after that, like wars, World War I, World War II, because you usually don't pull out of your diplomatic relations with a country when you want to have peace with
Well,
them.
we didn't say we were pulling out of diplomatic relations, but if we're having a temporary shutdown of our embassies overseas, shouldn't we, as a security precaution, have the same
No, that makes no sense.
reciprocity here in the United
That
States?
makes no sense. We are
Because
not-
why are their embassies so safe here? How come they're not able to use those bombs and blow up
Because they don't
those
want to blow up their own
embassies and
countries. They
injure
want to blow up
American
United
civilians?
States. They don't want to blow up Pakistan. They want to blow up United States. So why would you blow up Pakistani embassy? That makes no sense. If I am terrorist, why do I want to? I want to hurt United States, not another country. That makes
Well, that's
no
why
sense.
they may go on. I mean, if it's true that now this bomb has been perfected that can be placed in human beings, then the embassies are the least of our worries.
Right.
Those are hardened facilities. How about
Yeah.
an airplane? How about
a train?
Any high volume
A mall.
area, mall, it's a perfect tactic for Al Qaeda to create fear globally with 10 people.
With that, they don't even have to do anything.
That's
All they
what
have to do
terrorism
is
is.
tweet each other and pretend they're actually doing something.
Hey, I'm doing
And
that.
we're going to shut down
That's
the
what terrorism
world.
is.
Now, didn't they actually, in our asymmetrical war concept, didn't Al Qaeda just win a major victory, having all the embassies throughout the Middle East
Huge.
shut down and out?
Well, that's in our three-part lesson today, class. We have alliterating the problem, which is the advisory from the State Department, the perpetrators, Al Qaeda, and then we have the prognosis. But before we get to the prognosis, Mark, a couple of things. Implicating on this email, we implicated the generals and the flag officers.
Yeah.
Right.
We said, do you generals, because the gist of the article and the email was that Al Qaeda wins. When Al Qaeda could force the United States to have a knee-jerk response like a freaking banana republic, that is a turning point in the military capabilities of a country. So we wrote here, do you generals who worship at the altar of Obama, sacrificing your self-respect and abandoning your oath to this nation, understand that Al-Qaeda has defeated your great military? You generals are so focused on your pensions and board seats that you don't realize your high-tech whiz-bang toys are useless.
Right.
Useless when you no longer have the will to fight to win. So we implicate the generals on this thing, and then we have a beautiful prophetic clip. In fact, I sent them a little note today from our very good friend, our colleague, our Team B2 leader, Frank Gaffney, head of Center for Security Policy. We found a piece on the internet, of all places, where a year ago, Frank was weighing in on this very issue. Let's take a look.
President Obama has repeatedly claimed that Al-Qaeda is on the run, on its heels, and he keeps bringing up that Osama bin Laden's death has occurred. But is he telling the truth? Is Al-Qaeda really decimated? With me is former Reagan administration defense official and Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security Policy with the Reagan administration, Frank Gaffney. Frank, it is a pleasure to have you with us this evening.
Good evening. Great to be with you.
Thank you. All right, let's talk about Al-Qaeda. Is it decimated? Is it on the run, on its heels?
I believe that the president is knowingly misleading the American people, is putting it gently. I think lying to them about this. There's every reason to believe that Al-Qaeda is stronger today than it was when he took office. It certainly is operating with impunity in more places and is more aggressive as a result, I believe, of his policies. So far from them being on the path to defeat or decimated, as he likes to say, apart from, some people in the leadership who clearly have been taken out, the organization, and particularly the franchises of the organization, the wannabes, those that are affiliated with it, that are now running, in some cases, effectively countries. In the case of Mali, for example, the size of France.
Frank, let me ask you
this is a serious problem.
Where are they getting their arms from?
Well, it's some of it, I believe, they are getting from places that are happy to supply them. I think the Saudis, the Qataris, the Turks are providing some of the arms. Some of the arms, I think, almost certainly have emanated from the caches of arms that Muammar Gaddafi had all over his country that were liberated when he was overthrown. And there's some reason to believe that they were made available, some of those arms, through a pipeline from our own efforts to gather up those weapons in Libya, sent on to Turkey by ship, as Fox News has reported, and sent across the border into Syria. Unfortunately, the people that they're getting those weapons in Syria are the Muslim Brotherhood and Al-Qaeda.
Last question, because I'm coming up against a hard break here, Frank. Muslim Brotherhood. Are we in a better position with them in charge? Who are they? Very quickly, Frank.
The Muslim Brotherhood is an organization that is Islamist to its core. It seeks to impose Sharia, and it seeks our destruction. They are not our friends. We should not be trying to do business with them.
All right, Frank Gaffney, thanks so much.
I mean, was that right on the money a year ago?
Is that little ball up there crystal? I mean, our little United West ball?
Yeah.
Because we were saying the exact same thing. I mean,
well, whatever Frank says, we say the same thing.
Yeah, we were just parrots of Frank.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
What I thought was really
Well,
funny
except
about
for you're
that.
the only one who talks to him every day. We don't.
Yeah, we don't
And
talk
we
to
come
him,
up with the
yeah.
same thing independently.
Well, he is the Ayatollah of Islamophobia.
I would.
And by the way, where is he going to be going on September 30th?
Yeah.
Frank is going to that crazy, wild, and wacky place called Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and Haifa and all the Al-Quds and all those places.
Yerushalayim Shel Zahav.
We're leaving on the 30th of September, and we want you to come too, unless you kind of wear something.
Have they closed the Jerusalem embassy?
No.
No, I don't think they've opened
there
that
is
one
no
yet.
embassy in Jerusalem.
Haven't quite opened that
it's
one
in
yet.
Tel Aviv.
It's a
That's
trick
trick
question.
You know what I found out today? I found out today.
Very good.
I found out today.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
sent me an email. We're checking it out. That if an American couple has a baby in Jerusalem, they aren't allowed to say the baby was born in Israel.
That's correct.
What?
You can't have it on your passport either. Your passport
Whoa,
says
what is it supposed to say?
it just says Jerusalem.
Not Israel.
It doesn't say Israel.
Does it say Al-Quds?
Because the United States won't recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
I need that forwarded to me.
She sent me the woman told me this, and I was surprised. I didn't even know that.
Real,
Can
I show a quick
we're gonna look into
comparison?
that.
This is
Who?
what Frank Gaffney said a year ago of Al Qaeda on the rise. That map right there.
That was a year ago.
That was a year ago.
All
That's
right,
where he
for
said
in the order,
versus.
in your car. We're showing it. This is why you have to go to YouTube.com/The United West. Go ahead.
And this is the map of the outpost closings.
That's ridiculous.
It's the same,
It's the same exact
map.
situation.
Well,
Look at that. You know, with a
it's
couple,
close.
It's a little bit more, but he was being, all right. He didn't actually go all the way out to Algeria and Mauritania, but he got the big ones.
But here's the
we had
thing,
Algeria.
folks. Let's bring this home. We got a couple of minutes left in the show. Let's tie this up into.
We need another hour.
Let's tie this up into a neat little package. Tomorrow, we can pick up on some of this tomorrow, Tuesday the 6th.
What's the prognosis, Tom?
We have Dr. Andy Bostom.
Oh, I hate that man.
Thank
We
goodness.
can go through some stuff. Tie this up into a nice, neat little package.
Ramadan scoreboard.
The most. We need to do that. Who has the scoreboard?
We didn't do Manic
Ramadan.
Monday Fun Day.
Right here,
Manic
right here.
Panic Monday Fun
We
Day.
have the Ramadan scoreboard, and we have the Ramadan scoreboard is terrorist attacks, 271.
Is that for today?
That's for today.
Day
Well, it's through
27,
day
winding
27.
down.
It still needs to be
Let the
updated.
lady explain.
No.
He
I
has
talked
it?
enough.
Good.
Somebody read it.
Ramadan scoreboard is terror attacks 271, suicide bombings 27, dead bodies 1,419, wounded 2676, and we're still not updated totally with the weekend totals. So.
Right.
And we are still
Right.
pitching
And-
a shutout on you kuffars.
That's right. That's right.
Well, the Ramadan ends Wednesday,
Right.
and Sunday was a big day, and the
It's
last
always
day's
a big day,
day.
Sunday.
push
Funerals,
for the
weddings.
close, that
all
push
your
for the finish line.
simchas happen on Sunday.
That gut it up, stick it out for the finish line. Here it comes.
Look, guys, leave the crazy nutso system of Islam and bombing and all that. Come to America, get assimilated.
Don't come to
You know,
America.
follow Judaism.
Yeah.
If you come to America. I've had people emailing me saying, your friend should not be saying this on the air and all that stuff. But let's tie this into a nice little package, the prognosis.
Do they mean us?
Here's the dilemma. If the four of us got a bunch of friends and because of our chatter, we caused the United States of America to close 22 embassies, what's going to keep us from doing the same thing in
Again.
2 months or whatever? I mean, how
We're
do you
rewarding them.
How does that not?
Appeasement.
Yeah. How does doing what we did now? Maybe we're not privy to all the deep intelligence. We got 40 seconds, but this is a question I think we'll pick up tomorrow, and we'll talk to Andy about it because it's very, very important. Let's tomorrow. We'll leave a little cliffhanger here for the folks. Let's tomorrow make believe we are part of the president's national security team.
Uh-oh.
And we're going to discuss and debate whether or not we should close these 22 embassies. How about that?
Oh, let's play scenarios.
Tomorrow we will do that. We'll start our show with that or somewhere in our show. But for right now, we got to go. Stay safe.
Thank you.
And don't go to
for watching and
Mauritania
listening.
for your vacation.
Okay.
Okay, bye. See
Fade
you
to
all.
black.